morning friends, I'm Jyoti Hikod and today I'm going to talk about the skeletal system. So let's start. Skeletal system function as a basic framework of a body, and our entire body are built around a hard framework of a skeleton. So the it consists of bones, means it also known as osteocytes. Then also joints means the another term for joints is arthro. And then cartilage is also the next term is chondro. There are 206 bones in human adult, and in newborn baby there are 240 to 350 bones in newborn babies, because of non-fusion of bones. um, then we go forward to the function of skeletal system. So the what are the functions of skeletal system? The skeletal system provided protection, then support, protection, support, and it also helps in movement, storage, and regulation of endocrine glands. And the skeletal system also useful for blood cell production. Then uh, then endocrine regulation is also involved in a function. Then we go forward to the content of bone. So in content of bone there are 45% of water, and 35% of mineral salt, and 20% of collagen protein. Then we go forward to a bone cells. So what is bone cells? Bone cells mean the formation of a bone cells is also known as osteogenesis. There are three types of bone cells, that are osteoblast, osteoclast, and osteocytes. What is osteoblast? Means osteoblast means immature newly formed cells. Then we go forward to osteocyst. The osteocyst is means a mature living healthy bones. Then then osteoclast. Osteoclast means cells in destruction phase. And then the equilibrium of a bone cells are maintained by osteoblast and osteoclast. Then we go forward to ossification. So the what is ossification? The process of turning bone or bone tissue is known as ossification. So there are two types, that is intramembranous ossification. What is this? The proper definition of intramembranous ossification, in which the connective tissue change into bone. And the second type is a endochondral ossification, means a transfer of cartilage into bone is known as endochondral ossification. Then we go forward to a structure of bones. So in structure of bones, there is a osteology. Osteology means the study of bones. Then periosteum means outer covering of bone. Then epiphysis means the two terminal or two end of bones. Diaphysis means the middle portion of a bone. Then endosteum means inner covering or internal covering of a bone. Then medullary covering means the hollow space in between the bone which is present, which useful for nutrient formation. So there are two types of bones, that is spongy bone and hard bone. Hard bones is also known as compact bone because it is hard in structure, and the spongy bones means a sponge like structure, or it is a smooth in structure. Then articular cartilage present on bone or end of bone. So there are two types of a skeletal system. One is axial and second is appendicular. In axial skeleton there are 80 bones, and in appendicular skeleton it consists of 120 bones. So in axial it consists of skull bone, auditory, vertebra, thoracic and thoracic cage, and sternum. So these are all about axial. And in appendicular consist of upper limbs and lower limbs, um, and that's it. Then in part of skull, in part of skull, the cranium are there 8 bones. Then facial bone, there are 14 facial bones, one hyoid bone, then six auditory bones, that is malleus, incus, stapes. Stapes is the smallest bone in our body. And then vertebral column, there are 26, means 24 pairs, and one sternum. Then one sternum, 24 pairs of ribs. There are 1 to 7 true ribs, 8, 9, 10 are false ribs, and 11, 12 are floating ribs, because they are in floating shape. Then classification based on a shape, that is a long bone, that is a humerus and femur. Then in short bone there is a stapes. Then in flat bone, the example of flat bone is sternum. And then irregular bone, the example of irregular bone is vertebra. And then the example of sesamoid bone is patella. So again we go forward to the facial bones. There are 14 facial bones, and then we go forward to appendicular skeleton. In appendicular skeleton, there are 126 bones. I explain. There are two clavicle, two scapula, then two humerus, two ulna, two radius. Then in one hand, the 4 pairs of carpals, then five metacarpals, and 14 phalanges. And in pelvic girdle there are 6 bones, that is ilium, ischium, pubis. And in lower limbs, that is a femur, which is known as the largest bone. Then the one bone is patella, which is also known as knee. Then there is again tibia and fibula. There are two bones present in both legs. Then 7 tarsals in one leg. Then 5 metatarsals, and 14 phalanges. These all are appendicular system. Thank you.